High school sports, where the student athletes of today are forged into men and women of tomorrow. Join our Chippewa Valley Big Reds and Dakota Cougars on their journey towards building their skills and identities, learning to endure through struggles and setbacks, discovering the camaraderie of working together as a team, and feeling the unparalleled rush of achieving greatness on the field. Welcome to CVC Sports.
Romeo and their Road Reds with white numerals. Chippewa Valley clad in their home whites. Romeo will start with Ben Stojanovsky, Salvatore Leone, Santino Magnoli, Brody Hare, and Alex Kelly. The Big Reds will counter with Jay Johnson, Cassidy Sanders, Justin Gloucester, Jaden Brown, and Brandon Belante. Belante can light it up from deep. He's an exciting player to watch offensively, 33 in white. Chippewa Valley shares the ball really well. Their leading scorer every night is probably going to be someone different all season long.
Josh Johnson has had a heck of a season so far playing. There you see Cassidy Sanders. Watch out for number 11, too. I was very impressed in the Utica game watching him play. He is long. He can shoot it. He rebounds. He blocks shots. He kind of does it all for this Big Reds team, interchangeable stuff.
First field goal attempt made by Jay Johnson misses wide, and Romeo will use their first time out of the basketball game to maintain possession. So you get a block on the defensive end of things. That's what you're going to see a lot of this season for Chippewa Valley. Unfortunately for Josh Johnson, unable to cash in with the missed three-point attempt.
You may be questioning, like, why is he calling a timeout so early? Listen, Coach Christianberry has been around a long time. This guy knows what he's doing. All his boys came through Romeo. All fantastic basketball players themselves, fantastic athletes. A little surprising that shot by Josh Johnson. He's been pretty on point with his threes this year. Maybe rushed that one a little bit or not in rhythm. But I will tell you this, watch the Big Reds on defense. This is where they excel. They are long, they get their hands on everything. They're gonna be tough to score against this year.
Stojanovsky short. Battled for that loose ball. He gets it right back quickly up with the shot, and the jumper falls. Ben Stojanovsky gives the Bulldogs the early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, second chance points. You can't give those up. You really want one shot and done. Look at this.
Little backdoor alley-oop action. And Justin Gloucester couldn't finish at the rack. He's a Clintondale transfer. You talk about his length, his athleticism. We're going to see a lot of rim rockers throughout this season.
Yeah, he's a different type of player. He can play inside. He can play outside. There's just a lot of diversity in terms of athleticism with this Big Reds team. They have size everywhere. They're quick. They like to shoot it.
Johnson draws a double team, able to pass out of it, looking to go down low. Intercepted there by the Bulldogs. Defense quickly up court. Stojanovsky, 6'1", senior, 3.9 GPA. Wears 0 in red for the Romeo-Bulldogs. Brody Hare out there wears 5. Goes over to Salvatore Leone, one of the bigger players in this Bulldog roster. Leone, 6'4", drives the baseline, dump it off, corner 3 on its way, misses. Battle for it underneath the basket, ball still loose, last touch by the Bulldogs.
Well, that's the one thing the Bulldogs are going to do today. Their defense is going to have to show up big time. They're going to have to really try to slow down this Big Reds team, get their hands in passing lanes, not kind of get Chippewa Valley get out and run, or this game could get away hurried. The Bulldogs just really want to kind of slow things down and kind of muck this game up a little bit. A little matchup zone.
Feet down low and one. Justin Gloucester.
He's so long, I'm telling you. And, you know, from up here in this angle, it's kind of hard to tell. When I sat behind the Big Red bench the other day and watched him play, I mean, he plays above the rim. He's very, very smart. And even though he's new to the team, these guys have almost been like they're playing together forever. I know him and Josh Johnson played in the same AAU team.
Unable to can the free throw. Offensive rebound controlled by Chippewa Valley. 3 on its way from Johnson off the back heel. And we're going to get a foul call on the floor during that battle for the rebound. It's going to go against the Big Reds. They're going to get Cassidy Sanders, the senior, his first, team first.
I've done a little research myself there, Brad.
I like it.
Don't expect it all the time.
Big Red team off to a perfect 4-0 start, averaging 60 points per contest while giving up just 46 per game. Little Euro step through the lane and swatted out of there by Sanders. Johnson quickly ahead, floats the pass. Palante, three on its way and down.
Yeah, you kind of saw flashes of that last year, and he's picked up right where he's left off. He's got a sweet stroke, not a lot of rotation on the ball, but it goes in.
Palante, leading scorer in 2 of the Big Reds' wins this season, had 18 points in their opener against Lance Cruz, filled it up 12 points against Northville. 3 looking for the answer, the Romeo-Bulldogs. Leone misses. Gloucester quickly up, cuts through the lane, kicks it to the outside. Belante looking for a second make of the ball game, misses short. Bulldogs now out in transition. Stojanovski, little turnaround jumper, no good. He claps the hands in frustration. Quickly ahead, Belante lays it up, lays it in.
That's the Bulldogs. You got to get back in transition defense, or this Chippewa Valley team's going to run you into the ground. Like I said, they're deep. They bring so much speed off the bench. There's so many guys that can do different things. And before you know it, they'll run you in the ground. It's game over. Look at this. They are just all over the boards, man. You get nothing easy on this Big Red defense.
Out in transition, Gloucester hesitated and traveled. A couple changes coming into the game for Chippewa Valley. Kamari Mathis and Jake Clay.
For the Bulldogs, Joshua Lockmiller.
Nice to see number 30 in the game in red. Former Iroquois Panther, moved out to Romeo. Definitely miss seeing him in this side of town, but it's good to see him. I got to say hi to him on the floor as he was warming up tonight. It's a good thing he still remembers his old coach.
Number 30, Josh Lockmiller, 6'5", 175 pounds. So Coach Cushenberry going to some of his size off the bench, trying to counter Chippewa's length. 3:49 left to go, opening quarter of play. Big Reds in front of the Bulldogs, 7-2. Stojanovski going to the line to shoot a couple. Able to cash in on the first.
Yeah, nice rotation on the shot. He had a nice little baseline jump early. He's got all the Bulldogs points so far.
And knocks down the second. Good trip to the free throw line for Stojanovski. And in and out of the hands of Belante and out of bounds.
Now in for the Bulldogs, Austin Habich.
Austin Habich, senior, checking in, will replace Santino Magnoli on the floor. Well, three-quarter court pressure by the Big Reds. Brody Hare attacks the basket. Step back jumper, no good.
I think Belante got a piece of that, Brad.
Gloucester ahead. Hesitation move, pulls up, kicks it over to Johnson. 3 on its way, down. Joshua Johnson's first triple of the game.
Oh.
Nearly had an over and back. Stojanovski just barely got over the half-court line, floats up a shot, doesn't hit. Fouled in the shot attempt, so he'll go back to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, a little stutter step and go there by Stojanovski. He's got Clay up on his toes a little bit, and he went right by him to try a little floater. Big Reds, Brad, might have to double team him a little bit and try to get him off his rhythm, as right now he's the only Bulldog in the scoring column.
Chippewa Valley having to replace all 5 of its starters from a season ago due to graduation.
It was a heck of a group, but it's not often. And here you go. Here you get to see the freshman now. Izzy Player. This kid is lightning fast. There it
Another
is.
Johnson 3. This time it misses off the front iron. Refuses to go down. Brody Hare quickly up the floor. Just all kinds of athletes up and down this court this evening on both teams.
Fouls on Izzy Clare.
We're going to get Izzy Player there for his first.
Out the line is Brody Hare for the Bulldogs, shooting 2.
Well, this Bulldogs team has done a nice job of settling down. The Big Reds kind of got going on a little bit of run there. And Romeo has kind of found a way. You saw a couple turnovers, that making the Big Reds shoot a couple long-distance threes. And the Bulldogs have kind of slowly started to slow this game down a little bit and kind of play at more of the pace that they need to be playing at.
More importantly, they're knocking down all their free throws as they are now a perfect 6 for 6. 6 of their 8 points coming from the charity line. Big Reds just in front by 2. 10-8 our score. And that group we mentioned, 5 starters from a season ago, all graduating. Jordan Wright, Donovan Harris, Rayshawn Hester, John Anderson, Adrian Kuznicki. Good group of seniors.
Yeah, quite a group.
But more of a defensive-minded unit where this year, this team can just light it up. And Izzy Player right on cue, the freshman from distance.
They want chaos. They want to play in a chaotic environment. That's where they kind of thrive. And as you've seen it already, you know, even though Romeo's knocking down the free throws, they haven't had really an easy shot. Everything's contested.
Stojanovski again.
He's having a ball game, isn't he? 8 already.
Double team comes, able to pass out of it. Gloucester asks for help, instead has his pocket pick. Brody Hare out in transition, lays it in.
Brody Hare.
Defense leading to offense. That's sort of that pick 6, right? You have the dribble intercepted and going the other way, and it's an easy lay-in, easy points there for the Bulldogs. 13-12 our score. Drop pass inside. Jake Clay couldn't catch it cleanly. Turnaround jumper is good.
That's a nice idea when you get a steal on defense. It's quickly turned into a transition bucket. That's what the Bulldogs did with the Big Reds. Nice answer there. Several Big Reds in the scoring column already. You can start to see the depth of this team early. And that basically just wears you out, Brad.
5 different Chippewa Valley Big Reds have factored in the scoring. Now we're going to get an offensive foul. Illegal screen set there by Josh Lockbeiler. Yeah, Coach Corey Smith. They played back-to-back games and back-to-back days. At 54-50 win against Northville and a 6-point victory over Rochester Adams. And he kind of stressed the importance of he had about an 8-man rotation, if not even more, rotating throughout those 2 games. And that's what these early games are all about, is finding those rotations, finding those role players, spots and opportunities to come in games.
Well, always have that depth's going to be a good thing, especially with how long the basketball season is. Keeps you fresh legs. I just hope you get a chance to see this Izzy Player kid in transition. You should have seen him flying around the floor the other night. I mean, I saw it. I saw it for 2 years. I'm glad I'm done watching it. I'm glad I'm done watching it as an opposing coach, and I can enjoy it as a broadcaster and a fan. Because I'm telling you, as an opposing coach, it is not a lot of fun.
Stojanovski, 15 seconds left on the first quarter, and a slam. Alex Kelly, 6'3", the little elevation.
Yeah, nice little backdoor dunk there. Everyone's fired up.
Chippewa Valley going to have to get a shot off. It's going to be Player from distance, just misses short. Good energy in the gymnasium tonight. A little back and forth, 17-14. We'll keep it right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. An entertaining first quarter of basketball, Mr. Vitale.
Well, it's got to be Clark's dad over there. He's pretty fired up. There's Dad over there. He's rocking. He might be more fired up than the kids on the Romeo bench are. He definitely got the fans on the Romeo side back into it with that dunk. Nice little backdoor cut and a finish. And, yeah, I mean, for a first quarter shootout, combined 31 points, Brad, we might have to get our game faces on a little bit more serious here. This might turn into a show.
Yeah, Romeo coming in 0-3, lost to Port Huron in their last ball game by 9, lost to White Lake Lakeland by 8, and dropped an 18-point contest to Grosse Pointe South. So when you took a look at this Bulldogs team on paper, averaging just 44 points per game, winless on the road, we thought, well, maybe tonight would be a blowout, but not so fast. Romeo has other plans as they have put up 14 quick ones, well over their season average here in the first quarter, and trail just by 3 points.
Well, we get a chance too, Brad. Let's give a shout out to the Chippewa Valley girls basketball team. 2-0 in the young season, averaging almost 60 points a game. We're gonna get to call a lot of the girls' games from Chippewa and Dakota. They meet head-to-head a couple times. It's gonna be a fun season. Can't wait for all the MAC basketball you and I get to call this year.
And Chippewa Valley will play Dakota in girls basketball this season, so that rivalry game back on the schedule where it belongs. Izzy Player will trigger from the baseline. Chippewa Valley ball here to start the second quarter of play, and it's a quick turnover. And Magnoli will wisely pull up, wait for some trailing teammates. That is a deep three by Salvatore Leone.
The big fella from downtown ties the game. This is exactly the pace right now. It's perfect for the Romeo-Bulldogs. This is exactly what you want right now. Big Reds are going to have to find a way to speed this up. Look at this. Look at the acceleration.
Player gets cut off, fouled in the act. Let's see. Are they going to say in the act of shooting, or are they going to say on the floor? They're going to say on the floor. Okay.
Do they know he's only 14?
Probably not.
He is so quick. He is so quick.
Player going to come out of the basketball game now, as will Caleb Fulks. Valente from the corner. That's his hot spot. Look at that tip in. Jaden Brown. He becomes the 7th Big Red now to score in this basketball game. What a luxury to have that deep of a bench. And good defense there results in a turnover.
It's like having all your players on a roulette table and you can just spin it each game to find out who your high score could be. Because, like you said, you really don't know. I mean, you got some guys who are kind of like their main scorers, but like I said, any of these guys can go off because they're so talented. Look at the catches, Romeo sleeping.
Can't do that. Volante's second triple of the game gives him 8 now.
He likes that corner three. Oh, he get in the corner. Oh.
Now a trapping defense, full court pressure being supplied now by the Big Reds. Look at Coach Corey Smith. We're gonna get foul on the floor.
I will say this, I at the Utica game the other night, I don't think I've ever seen Coach Smith smile more in a game than we all last season. He seems to be much more happy this year. Not that he should have been happy last year. He had a heck of a group, had a heck of a season. But I don't know, this group is just bringing something different out in him.
16-10 a season ago, 5-5 in the MAC Red, good enough for 3rd place. Had wins over Ford in the district championship game and LCN in the regional semifinals. But once again, that regional championship game, a bit of a bugaboo as they dropped it 76-44 to Brother Rice, have failed to make it out of that regional championship game. It's just so difficult to do when you got the top dogs like Brother Rice in your region.
You got that, and it's hard when you're playing a team with 3 6'8" guys. That's a college team.
Johnson leaves it.
Oh, what a block by Lockbeiler.
Lockbeiler quickly ahead, attacking the basket, going up and under. Stojanovski.
What a move there. I didn't know how he could make that. He somehow was able to spin it up high off the glass.
Stojanovski, the first scorer to get into double digits, now has 10 points.
Oh, God, I love basketball season. What a fun this is going to be.
Terrific step through by Jaden Brown, and he will go to the line to shoot 2.
I'm so glad I played when I did, because I would have never got off the bench now, Brad. I probably wouldn't even have made the team. These kids are so fast and athletic.
You're kind of a post-up shooter back in the day, were you not?
I was like a John Long type player. I was a set shooter. You saw my skills at the Mr. Hall halftime.
Oh, yeah, we saw him last year. We sure did, yeah. Your 3-point attempt. We get it on video. We may at some point remove it out of the archives and bring it back. Ask our talented crew to get that one out of the mothballs.
Need you guys to come to practice sometime. I was lighting it up the other day in practice.
So Brown, an empty trip to the line. Chippewa Valley now 0 for 3 from the free throw line. A 3 on its way. Stojanovski again, and kind of a glance back over at the Chippewa Valley bench after making that triple.
He's fired up. He's got 13 of their 22 points.
Johnson over to Brown, into the corner for Sanders. Sanders, dangerous pass. Belante able to retrieve it on the big CV logo at the half court. Johnson picks up his dribble, goes over to Brown here on the left wing. Brown tried to go over to the top. Belante hoists, but can't hit.
This
22-22.
Matchup zone giving the Big Reds a lot of problems right now.
Chippewa Valley, a reminder, a season ago, got off to a perfect 3-0 start, then dropped 4 contests in a row. All very close games, but a bit of an up and down start to their season. Looking to erase that this year and remain perfect here tonight on their home floor. Dangerous pass, intercepted by Sanders. Quickly up ahead to Johnson. Johnson hacked, and will go back to the line to shoot a couple.
Yeah, you don't want to turn the ball over because this team gets a basketball in their hands and they're gone 100 miles an hour down the floor. They are so fast. You limit your turnovers, you give yourself a chance. That's what you want to do if you're the Bulldogs.
Already the 4th team foul in the quarter by Romeo, so free throws the rest of the way now for Chippewa Valley as Johnson's first misses short. Well, Coach Smith not going to be happy with the free throw shooting here in the early goings.
No, especially in close games, you got to knock them down, especially with as good of an outside shooting team this is. It should be a good free throw shooting team.
So it's a split at the line for Johnson. Gives the Big Reds the 1-point lead. Bulldogs able to beat the pressure, but they turn it over via the travel. Santino Magnoli shuffled the feet.
Yeah, a little quick shuffle of the feet there. Got the happy feet there. Got to be careful.
So now Coach Corey Smith kind of goes to a 2-point guard look here with Josh Johnson and Izzy Player.
Then you got Sanders and Golster in the game. Plus you got Caleb Folks out there.
Caleb Folks, a terrific football player for Chippewa Valley. Players 3 in and out. Tough luck miss out of the freshman. Johnson not happy with himself. What a story Josh Johnson was last season as a sophomore. Kind of came in and really stole the show and kind of propelled that Big Red squad a season ago in that postseason run that saw them win a district championship and a regional semifinal game. He kind of carried the torch, so to speak, for Chippewa Valley last year. Was one of their leading scorers in the postseason.
Yeah, you know, especially as a young underclassman, you kind of come into a team that's senior laden and trying to find your place. And he did a good job doing that and really kind of became a leader. And now he is kind of the leader this year, Brad. And he's going to be there for the next couple years leading this basketball team. So you can see he's put some more muscle on. I mean, he was a pretty strong kid last year. He's a lot more confident this year. You can just tell by just his demeanor on the floor.
Pull-up jumper, no good, tapped out. Controlled by the Big Reds. 3:06 left to go, first half of play. Johnson pulls up into the corner. Caleb Folks, open 3. No good, misses wide, and then a foul called in that battle for the rebound as Cass Sanders comes together with Alex Kelly.
Yeah, it's going to be his second. Jaden Brown's going to come back in pretty quick here. 2 quick fouls early. You don't want to do that, get into foul trouble. He's going to be a big part of this team this year also. It's Cassidy Sanders. He's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Jaden Brown threw down a dunk at the practice we attended as part of our preseason coverage. Is a terrific look there. Troy Racky on the cut, got to the hoop, laid it in, and gives the Bulldogs now a 24-23 lead. Gloucester in the right hand, skip pass, extra pass over to Johnson on this near side. They get it over to Caleb Folks. He drives in. That shot partially blocked but out of bounds.
Yeah, you're going to have to kind of drive and dish and make cuts to the zone, but when you get to the basket, you got to catch in. Romeo doing a nice job of just defending that rim there. There's 2 guys on the block.
Jake Clay comes in, replaces Izzy Player. Gloucester's 3, no good. Kind of a green light special. Everyone's got it. They're hoisting up 3s like crazy. Shooting percentage isn't great at the moment.
No.
But eventually they will fall.
But you got a couple trips where you knock 2 or 3 down in a row, and next thing you know, you just blow the game open.
Terrific pocket pass along the baseline, trying to find a cutting Clay. So I mentioned that Jaden Brown throwdown in practice. Our preseason show is now available. Give you a preview of all of our teams within the districts, both boys and girls. Talk to the coaches and captains, kind of get you prepared for what to expect this season. Should be an absolute battle in the MAC Red. In terms of the boys game, is they welcome in the additions of the Lincoln Abes and the Port Huron Northern Huskies. Port Huron Northern 2 seasons ago win the MAC White. And, oh, by the way, the Lincoln Abes, where did they go and do last season? Well, they just won a state title in Division II.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So an already loaded MAC Red just gets that much better with the addition of the defending state champions in Division II and Port Huron Northern. As Lance Cruz North and Stevenson makes the move down.
Yeah, week 1, the Cougars went to Stevenson and kind of handed it to them pretty good. We'll get to see, obviously, again, the boys. Both boys teams battle each other twice, being division foes.
In terms of girls basketball, obviously Dakota, the defending MAC Red champions. You mentioned Chippewa Valley girls team much improved. They will play out of the MAC Blue this season, and one would think they might be sort of the favorites within the Macomb Area Conference Blue Division.
Yeah, Fraser beat Dakota the other night in girls basketball, so Blue Division upsetting a Red Division team. So, look out for the Ramblers too. They've kind of been the steady Eddies of the Blue Division for a while. They've been up there. So, Coach Maurer and her Big Reds looking to make a statement this year. A lot of returning players. Right now, he said lighten up the scoreboard at almost 60 points a game. I jokingly said to her, when was the last time you averaged 60 points a game? And she just chuckled at me. A timeout.
Called by Romeo. Should also mention Dakota. Olivia Savage, the head coach, the new head coach at Dakota, taking over for legendary head coach Phil McCune.
Some big shoes to fill, literally.
Literally, yep.
You wear a big shoe when you're 6'10", Brad.
Yeah, Coach McCune, a classic. We're going to obviously miss him, but you know he's going to be in that Dakota gymnasium all season long as an observer.
Yeah, one of my favorite people. Coach McEwen's done a lot to help me in my career. Coach Cushenberry has. When I was a young coach at Algonquin, even though we come and battle them at middle school basketball, you'd always share some wisdom with me after the games and kind of help me out, and I always appreciate that. Especially when you're a young guy, you try to become as much of a sponge when these guys have been around. Look, he's still here doing it. Legend out in the Romeo community.
That's what it's all about at this level, right?
Yeah.
It's an education.
Pass the torch. Be a good person. Don't need to embarrass anybody. You got to be a role model to your team.
25-24, $1:49 left to go, first half of play. Justin Gloucester's 2 freebies have given the Chippewa Valley Big Reds the lead right back. It's been a terrific game thus far. A little nickel and dime foul along the perimeter.
Boy, they chase you everywhere, don't they? There's nowhere to run and hide from this defense.
So that's the 4th team foul on Chippewa Valley, so free throws the rest of the way now for both teams. Caleb Folk's going to supply a little defense on the inbound pass. Josh Johnson bodying up his man, Stojanovsky. Stojanovsky has a retreat all the way back to the midcourt logo. Bulldogs have been pretty good in these half-court sets, very deliberate. And that contrast in styles you have talked about throughout this basketball game, slowing the tempo down, limiting the Big Reds' number of possessions.
Making sure your possessions are quality possessions.
Euro step drive through, and then the charge.
Mr. Folks, not used to a little contact, huh, Brad?
Yeah, he's used to banging bodies on the football field. He's not afraid to get his nose dirty.
A lot of those inside zone plays, he was getting banged around quite a bit this year, so now he's taking some hits on the basketball court. You gotta love that, taking a charge. Nothing more, maybe about the only thing more that excites a team than taking a charge is maybe a dunk, but those are things that kind of really fire your team up, get them excited.
So under a minute now, Folks. Defensive rebound by Stojanovski. And now a back court trap by Chippewa Valley. And did the Bulldogs get it across the timeline? Oh, they're going to travel instead.
Yeah, he got a little crossed up there. What he wanted, I think he changed his mind midstream and did not work out well. He's played a pretty good half, though. He's got over 50% of their points.
Yeah, 13 already. Stojanovski. Folks holds the ball high above his head, goes over to the corner for Gloucester. The Clintondale transfer traveled. So both teams trade turnovers.
The Big Reds in this 1-2-2. I almost kind of go man-to-man full court. Ooh, nice pass.
Stojanovski looks up floor, fires the pass, triple try, misses wide. Offensive rebound, Habich hacked in the process of getting the shot up. He'll go back to the free throw line. They're going to get Caleb Folks. That's just his first.
Oh, Bulldogs have lived at the line here in the first half. That's kept them in the ball game, Brad. They continue to knock them down.
Yeah, they're perfect at the free throw line.
Uh-oh.
Did I just jinx it?
Just crushed it. Watch
7 for 7. Make it 8 of 8.
Ice in the veins.
So Bulldogs back in front, haven't been able to pull away. Their leads have been by single points. Brown inside, goes up strong with the left hand.
Changes in midair, makes a nice finish at the rim.
So the Bulldogs will more than likely hold for the final shot of the half. Stojanovski gets it ahead, goes up and under, and that will do it. A physical second quarter of play as the Big Reds will take a 1-point lead in the halftime break. They lead it 27-26.
Yeah, what a first half. I mean, the second quarter slowed down a little bit just because of the physicality a little bit, but boy, both teams getting out and running. Even Romeo's showing a little fast break there as well. Hey, they're right in it. 1-point game at the half. I think right now, if you're Coach Cushenberry, you got to love where your team is at. Now it's just taking care of the basketball, continue to rebound, and keep getting quality possessions. And if you're Coach Smith right now, got to find a way to speed this game up.
If you're watching live tonight on YouTube, it will be a 10-minute halftime break. We, too, will take that break here on CVC TV. But in less than 10 minutes, we will be back to live action, the start of the third quarter of play. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Valley, Chippewa Valley, for this boys varsity MAC crossover matchup between our Chippewa Valley Big Reds and the Romeo-Bulldogs. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale. And Jeff, Chippewa Valley right now clinging to a 1-point lead, 27-26. The story thus far, obviously the depth of the Chippewa Valley Big Reds when you look at what they've been able to accomplish here in this first half. 7 different players have scored, but they really haven't been able to find an answer for Ben Stojanovski, who's filled up the point sheet to a tune of 13 points for Romeo.
Yeah, and I think the Bulldogs have done a great job of just dictating the pace of this game. The Big Reds are going to have to find a way to speed it up.
There's another good cut, just old school basketball being played right now by the Bulldogs. As that three misses its mark, Leone trying to fire up a quick three. And there's that transition offense. Sanders, no good on his triple try.
A lot of rhythm threes, but they're not going down. This is a team that likes to shoot the three, Brad. They're not going to stop shooting it. If they start knocking them down, though, Romeo could be in trouble.
Well, that's why they're averaging 60 points per season. They started off with 67 against L'Anse Creuse, 66 in that win over Utica. And then got slowed down, sort of, by the OAA teams, Northville and Rochester Adams, in that MAC OAA crossover tournament.
Well, especially that second game, which came on back-to-back days, a little tired. Cass landed hard in that hip.
Yeah, sort of hip and back.
Mr. Folks coming off the bench.
Assistant coach Corey Gray going to come out and check on Cass
That's what you
Sanders.
do when you're the head coach. You just send both your assistants over there and the trainer, and you can just stand back over on the bench. He landed hard. I'm just sure it's kind of that one of those things that the shock of the hip hitting that, that court's so soft.
Yeah, right. That's why they call it the hardwood.
Pretty good Tuesday night crowd. Tell you what, we had a lot more people here tonight than we did last week on Friday against the Chieftains.
Sanders still
Yeah, still down.
This is.
He's up on he's on his stomach now. He kind of went from his side to his stomach. He's trying to, obviously in some pain, Brad.
And finally onto his knees, and going to attempt to get up onto his feet, and gets a round of applause from all in attendance.
Tell you, it's going to hurt a lot more tomorrow. Getting some assistance too. That's a little. Not able to put a lot of weight.
Corey Gray and Casey Sanders helping him off the floor now.
Putting no weight hardly on that right leg, Brad.
So he will go directly, well, let's see, they're going to take him to the bench area. Thought he might go right back to the locker room, but he's going to go to the bench. Stojanovski to the free throw line, and first miss of the game for the Bulldogs at the charity stripe.
It was at the halftime break, cooled off the free throw shooting, as they were, like I said, 100%.
Oh.
Two misses.
Offensive rebound, however, for the Bulldogs. They'll pull it back out, tacking the rim. Magnoli, long shot, long rebound. Hare this time knocks down the three. Brody Hare now with 7 points. Largest lead of the night for Romeo's 2, 29-27.
Yeah, second chance points.
Dump down low. Caleb Fulks fills it up.
Just using that big, strong body, just muscles his way inside.
Bounce pass nearly intercepted. Quick shot up, no good. Belante comes down with the rebound.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That was
barely
close.
over the timeline there.
That was close.
Brown
Whoa.
thought about the pass in the corner, goes up with the shot. Folks rips down the offensive rebound, quickly goes up with the shot attempt, and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, Folks came off the bench for Cassidy. He's already made his presence known here early in the second half.
Cass Sanders trying to walk it off now at the bench, which is a good sign because he's on 2 feet and he's walking.
Real good sign. That's the one thing about Caleb, though, Brad, is Folks. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's just a very versatile basketball player. High IQ. A lot of these kids are just high IQ players, and that's where, especially in a long season, you're really going to see the Big Reds flourish this year.
It's a split at the free throw line, 30-29. Big Reds back in front. Kind of gone back and forth, seesaw affair. Leone gets it into the front court. Pull up. Hare thought about the three, now will hoist. Misses wide, offensive rebound controlled by Magnoli on the far side.
Yeah, I don't know if that shot was in rhythm. I'd like to see him take that more to the basket, maybe get a dump off or a layup out of it.
Strong move by Stojanovski.
Look at this.
And quickly ahead up to Caleb Fulks, slows it down, lays it up, lays it in. Folks, all 5 of the Big Red points here in this third quarter.
They get the ball down there in a hurry, don't they? Oh!
Brody Hare nearly lost the dribble, now throws it off of Izzy Player and out of bounds.
That's experience of the senior.
Leone throws it in. Stojanovski.
Oh,
And we're going to get push off. Using the free hand to create the separation. Offensive foul on Ben Stojanovski.
I think Josh surprised him there, getting right up in his face, and didn't know how to react to that. And
little 4-out look here for Chippewa Valley, attacking the rim, dumped down to Gloucester, and he loses control of that basketball. Alex Kelly has his pocket picked.
This Big Reds defense, they have such quick hands.
Gloucester into the lane, leaves it for Player. Player 15-footer, no good. Offensive rebound controlled once again, Jaden Brown.
Yeah, this is where the Big Reds flourish, when you're just flying up and down the floor. The big man.
Using all of the rim, Salvatore Leone. So that lead swelled up to 5, back down to 3. Romeo refusing to go away, and that's kind of what you would expect out of a Cushenberry-led team. Loose ball, battle for it. Caleb Folk's not afraid to dive for it. Leone knocks down his defender and is going to get the call. Offensive charge.
Yeah, nice job by Izzy there, taking the charge.
That's going to be Leone's third.
Giving up a few pounds there. 135 versus not 135.
Yeah, I got Leone on my roster is listed at 6'4". Unfortunately, I do not have his weight.
I'm guaranteeing you the first number is a deuce.
Good look inside, finding Player. Chippewa Valley starting to really amp up the intensity, especially on the defensive end. A little 2-on-1 here for the Bulldogs. That step-through move again. Seeing more and more of that at every single level of basketball.
Even on the advantage, they don't have an easy look. And look at Josh Johnson.
Might need a Romeo timeout here.
Yeah, you're getting in danger here if you're the Bulldogs. You're probably playing a little too fast. And you're kind of right up the Big Red's alley here.
And Kelly answers with a deuce of his own. So shame on us for playing amateur head coach. Coach Cushenberry says, I don't need a timeout, just do your thing, and the results will speak for themselves. And that was Alex Kelly with the lay-in, and oh boy, Jaden Brown from distance.
Coach Cushenberry has forgotten more basketball, Brad, than I'll ever know.
Leone a little out of control. Ooh, blocking call against Jaden Brown.
Some brave souls standing in front of number 2 like that.
And Salvatore Leone not afraid to handle the basketball.
No. Quite comfortable out there actually doing it. Now Player will go more to the point guard spot as Josh Johnson comes out.
Brody Hare going to run the point now. A little crossover dribble being guarded by Valente between the circles. Hare begins to explore. Nearly had a strip of the basketball. Leone drives inside, will kick it back out. Romeo will reset. Stojanovski now running the point. Goes over to Hare on the right wing side.
Bulldogs need a good possession here, Brad.
Trying to find Leone, was looking to go inside. Habich. There's a Bulldog down low in the post.
Pretty nice look by that big fella. Kind of a little hook pass, and Player was able to get his hands on the ball, knock it out of bounds, and Romeo Bulldog basketball still.
A little bit of a wild shot, going to get bailed out with the foul call. Josh Lockbeiler will go to the line. So we mentioned the depth, and seemingly every single night it's probably going to be a different guy leading the way for this Big Reds team. Lante's led him twice, had those 18 points against Lance Cruz. Also poured in 12 against Northville, but Josh Johnson had 19 against Utica.
We have a lane violation. Nope, not gonna. And you can see with the Big Reds on this break, there are so many guys that get out on this break. So many guys can be getting different layups. Like I said, that's why you could have the possibility of so many. Look at Cass Sanders back in the layup.
Good sign to see him attack the hoop. And now Izzy Player. And a lost ball off the hands of Caleb Folks. Kind of complete my thought here. Yeah, Jaden Brown lead the way against Rochester Adams. So through 4 games, you've had 3 different Big Reds lead this team in scoring. And then it's the secondary scoring as well, as Cass Sanders had 10 in that game against Rochester Adams, including a huge go-ahead 3-pointer. It's Caleb Folks now with the steal. A little 4-on-1, and Folks says, thank you very much. I'm going to take it all the way to the hoop. And what a quarter of basketball for Caleb Folks. All 7 of his points have been scored here in this third quarter as the Big Reds now lead it by 11. Leone trying to end this scoring run for the Big Reds and can't get the jumper to fall.
Oh, they had a 2-on-1 and settled for a 3.
Izzy Player out in front of everybody. Oh, using the wheels.
Just had a nightmare play. Look at this. Look at him come back.
Cushenberry wanted the timeout, doesn't get it. Looking for the alley-oop. Couldn't pull the trigger there. Oh, boy, that would have been a highlight reel. And now Cushenberry will get that TO, trying to squash the Big Reds' momentum. Lead up to 13, 47-34. A minute 39 left to go in the third.
Yeah, players quicker than a hiccup. You saw the finish at the basket. That's all I saw for 2 years, Brad. I saw. Listen, I that's nothing new for me. That was nightmares. I'm glad to be on the other end of it. But then you see the speed getting back on defense, getting the steal. This Big Red team is relentless, and that's where it's going to help them. Is even in a close game, that defense eventually is going to wear the other team out. And it's starting to do so with Romeo now. They're taking bad shots. They had a 2-on-1 break the last time down the floor. They settled for a 3, and they get nothing when they should have had a bunny. And those possessions for Romeo now are starting to go away by the wayside.
Put a few members of the Chippewa Valley girls basketball team into attendance tonight, supporting the boys.
Yeah. We've seen Kenzie Harris. We've seen Grayson walk by. We've seen, like I said, there's quite a crowd here tonight. Tuesday evening, people wanting to get out here and enjoy the atmosphere. Like I said, last Friday night was a little slow. A little disappointed for a Friday night basketball crowd, especially with basketball season starting. Big Red's off to a good start, but I know what one game was going to be packed, Brad. Want to take a guess?
Which one's that going to be?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
The first one doesn't count?
There you go. Look at out of timeout. There's veteran coach right there. Out of a timeout, you get a nice set, finish at the basket, and the Bulldogs cut back into that lead.
Parker Syack got that hoop, his first points of the night.
Good defense there. Now Romeo kind of getting back to what they were doing earlier that kept this game close. Oh, nice cut. He was open. He missed him.
They ring it around the perimeter, step back. Alex Kelly thought about pulling the trigger. A little bit of a trap now in front of the Romeo bench, and Stojanovski has been able to hit some of those circus shots here tonight.
Yeah, Stojanovski's had a game.
Yolanda Gasho was also in attendance. She walked by, and she's got one of the best nicknames around. They call her Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo.
And I think she's going to be a little bit of a backup point guard maybe to Carrier. And if you're Yo-Yo in the basketball, you're doing something right.
I guess so.
I walked over to her when we attended the practice. I said, everyone's calling you Yo-Yo. I said, do you mind if I call you that during our broadcast? And she's like, oh, yeah, please do. I'm like, all right. So, off the backboard, the slam!
There we go! That's from playing a lot of AAU right there, Brad. Those two on the same page, and that was pretty. And, Mr.
Gloucester.
Mr. Gloucester did not miss that one.
Little showtime.
That brought the house down over here. The student section love that.
Josh Johnson. The alley-oop pass off the backboard to Justin Gloucester to throw it down. What a way to end the third quarter of play as the Big Reds have opened it up now to an 11-point lead. They scored 22 points in that third quarter.
And the Bulldogs still had a double-digit quarter and found themselves down 11. The Big Reds just got hot. You get that fast break going. Again, Romeo started playing at the pace, Brad, they don't want to play at, and the Big Reds were able to take off. They were controlling the game, and now you got to play from behind against a team that loves to play fast and kind of chaotic, and this is kind of right into Chippewa Valley's wheelhouse.
Big Reds outscoring the Bulldogs 22-12 in that third quarter of play, and it was Caleb Folks, his 7 points. Jaden Brown had 5 in that quarter. Brown now has 9 to lead all Big Red scorers in points. But once again, it's just a relentless attack up and down this roster, because you now have 8 different Big Reds with points.
Yeah, I mean, they come at you from all angles, and you say the speed getting down the floor. You know, Izzy Player, the freshman, he's getting involved, finish at the rim, steals. He's able to get some extra minutes, too, and Josh Johnson needs a quick little breather. I mean, this team is just deep, and they can come at you from a variety of ways. And you really got to be on your game if you're going to knock these guys out.
Johnson has it. Little isolation at the very top of the key. Izzy Player. Back to Johnson. Yep, a little hesitation, yeah. I think it's more of a double dribble than a travel, but.
We had that little two-step and then put the ball on the floor, and that's a no-no. And I'm sure Coach Smith will point that out to him on the film. That's what you can do in huddle, Brad. You can tag those little things and give them an
intercept. Johnson alley-oop. He's looking for Gloucester again.
I think they're trying to get on Sports Center, Brad.
3 from the top of the keys, missed short.
You think we can send ESPN that clip?
Hare, yep, we could. Hare ahead. And the miss is followed up with a make as it rolls all the way around the rim and finally down. Magnoli.
That's a much-needed basket for the Bulldogs as it gets this double-digit lead now, under 10.
Lante misses short off the side of the rim. Ripped down by Sanders offensively. Lante over to the near side. Into his favorite spot in the corner. Triple try, in and out. Stojanovski streaking down the left wing side.
Oh, nice move.
Step through off the glass and down. Boy, he is able to squirm his way through. As Chippewa Valley will take a timeout, lead down to 7. 4 quick ones scored by the Romeo-Bulldogs.
Yeah, Coach Smith gave a few kids a look. He is not happy right now. But boy, this Ben Stojanovski kid just plays within himself. Nice little setup there. Thought he was going to cross over. Comes across. Nice left hand off the glass. 17 of the 42 points. Where would these guys be without him tonight?
Look ahead at both teams' upcoming schedules. Romeo will go back home to take on Port Huron Northern, the recent addition to the MAC Red. So back-to-back MAC Red games for this Romeo Bulldogs squad. Then on December 18th, we'll take on Warren Woods Tower before going back on the road to take on another MAC Red team in the form of the Dakota Cougars. That'll be a game that'll air right here on CVC TV before ending the month of December against Lance Cruz in the St. Clair Community College Skippers Holiday Showcase. As for the Big Reds, they will go on the road to take on Stevenson on December 12th. December 20th, a home game against Ike. And then tournament play for them will begin on December 21st with the game against Brighton. It's the Corsairs Christmas Classic at Waterford Mott. And then they are going to play host to their own Christmas tournament right here at Chippewa Valley as they will take on Warren Woods Tower the day after Christmas, December 26th, and then a opponent to be determined on December 27th.
Also, we got next week coming up, Brad. Is it a Wednesday broadcast? We got the Dakota Cougar ladies also. So
Justin Gloucester.
2 games at Dakota High School next week.
Yep, we got the girls' game against Anchor Bay, and if you know anything about those 2 teams, there were some battles last year.
Yes, there was.
Including in the playoffs between Anchor Bay and Dakota, so that one should be a very entertaining game between those 2 foes. Our first look at Olivia Savage's Dakota Cougars.
Well, the Bulldogs have to find a way to settle down here in this 4th quarter. They kind of let that 3rd quarter get away from them. Big Reds jumped out to a lead. They got it down to 7, and they kind of started to get the Big Reds kind of out of their game here a little bit, but they got to keep moving. Big Reds have got to find a way to speed that game back up, especially stop doing this, giving them second chance points.
Yep, Alex Kelly missed the wide open jumper. Leone can't get his jumper to fall, and still a loose ball. Now we're going to get a kick ball.
We got a kick ball
Against Chippewa Valley. That was the indication, right? It was a kick ball.
Against Romeo. Coach Cushenberry, I don't think he agrees with that one.
So it'll be Izzy Player to bring up the basketball. Slowly walks it across the timeline. A little more pep in his step. Josh Johnson between the legs. Cross-court pass to Player on the far side in front of the Chippewa Valley bench. Trying to break down this Bulldog defense. Stojanovski trying to sell the call there, doesn't get it. Picking up the dribble, Gloucester into the corner for Player. Player begins to explore. We'll back it out now to Jay Johnson. Johnson being guarded by Brody Hare and has his pocket pick. Leone with the steal. Stojanovski quickly ahead. Magnoli waiting for Leone. Leone goes up and makes a little 8-2 run to start this quarter for the Romeo-Bulldogs. Have pulled them within striking distance. They trail by 5. 51-46 our score.
Big man is fearless going down the lane. He's had himself a heck of a game.
Leone with 7 points now for the Bulldogs. A little scoop and score by Jaden Brown.
30-second timeout.
11 points now for the junior.
Quick 30-second timeout here right as the bucket goes in. And I'm sure Coach Smith's talking about the value right now of rebounding the basketball, giving the Bulldogs one shot. In this beginning of this 4th quarter, the Big Reds have given up a few second chance points that the Bulldogs have been able to cash in. That's been allowed them to kind of get back into this ball game. Also looking to keep attacking that zone, which they kind of stopped doing, started settling for the 3. And again, also helped Romeo creep back in this game.
So you joked about it before, about this gym getting loud and filled for a couple games this season. And you were referring to the Dakota games, and those two teams. And those 2 teams split last season.
They did.
Each winning a game, and you just know those are going to be absolute battles once again this year.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was kind of a beat-up team a season ago for Coach Toko at Dakota, and he's not looking for excuses, but that team is finally healthy, and they got some pieces coming back off major injuries that are going to be bright spots for that Cougar squad.
And they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're going into a 1-2-2 now. Really trying to slow these Bulldogs down.
Leone, that's a 3. Too strong. And Dakota not accustomed to finishing below 500, and their overall record below 500, as was their league record a season ago. Turning the corner. What a move by Brown.
It kind of set him up, and he finished nicely at the rim there, getting the lead back to 9.
Brody Hare thought about the 3, goes back out to Stojanovski, who directs traffic. Hare is gonna have to take it this time. He was too wide open, and Sanders able to wipe down the defensive rebound. Josh Johnson with 6 points. collision. They're going to wipe off the shot attempt. So foul occurred on the floor.
And unfortunately for the Bulldogs, Brad, they're kind of in a position where they have to go man, which really favors Chippewa Valley. That zone was perfect that they were going to run, but now with 3:15 to go, you're down 9. You got to try to push the pace a little bit. Not your cup of tea.
Right, because now all of a sudden you're trying to come up with turnovers, trying to come up with steals, which isn't the MO of his zone defense.
Right. Well, if you look who the Big Reds have in the game right now, you got 5 guys on the floor who can all take the ball to the rim. And
right on cue, Jaden Brown finds it.
Coach Cushionberry won't like that at all.
Jaden Brown with 15 points.
Oh, block there, got him on the wrist.
And Stojanovski leads all scorers with 17.
Yeah, Jaden Brown just quietly crept up into that 15-point mark, hasn't he?
Yep, leading scorer tonight for Chippewa Valley. That'll be his, if he holds on to it, it'll be the second time this season he'll lead the team in scoring.
I have to go back and watch that broadcast, Brad, for that little inbounds play. I like that little inbounds play.
Gonna steal it?
Always trying to get some good stuff from Coach Smith and Coach Toko.
Steal with your eyes and your ears.
I'll be up late dissecting that play. Yeah, fouled on the 3, too, so for 3 free throws.
And Kelly able to knock them all down.
Yeah, big possession there. You take an 11-point game down to 8.
You mentioned watching this broadcast. If you've missed any portion of it, we do archive all of our live games on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. Preview show just hit the airwaves this afternoon, so that's on there for your viewing enjoyment as well. Interviews with plenty of the players as well as Coach Corey Smith, who kind of looked over at the official on that far side as to say, you're not going to overturn that call?
He's asking some questions, but the referee gave him an answer. He nodded his head, so he agrees. So on where we go. Oh, boy, another turnover. Here comes a foul.
A foul in the backcourt. Yep.
Justin was getting ready to throw down another one. He brought the house down earlier with the off the backboard assist by Josh Johnson. Threw it down. This guy's going to be fun to watch, Brad. There's so much athleticism and speed, and the Cougars are kind of built the same way. It's going to be a fun season in the MAC Red.
I can't wait just to watch this team gel from this point forward. What a ball fake by Jaden Brown. You just can't coach that, can you?
No, it's just...
That's instincts.
That's just ability right there. That's a heck of a play. Oh, here we go.
Another steal. Uh-oh, look out below. A little boom shakalaka.
Yeah, he knew he was dunking that on the steal. They hadn't even gotten the ball yet. He knew he was dunking that.
17-point performance by Brown. Justin Gloucester with 10. Caleb Folk, 7 points here in the second half. Galante had 8 in the first half, hasn't scored in the second half, but they haven't needed him. Josh Johnson running the point here tonight, 6 points.
I think the biggest thing, especially for your point guard, is just playing within themselves and running the offense. You know, the one thing that's always going to be on point is this defense. And, you know, Bulldogs are at 49 right now. The average is 46, so a little bit over that. I thought a lot of that attributed to how good Romeo played in the first half, especially how they shot from the free throw line. You know, so they cashed in a lot of points in that first half where normally the Big Reds turn that into points the other way. And they did a nice job of staying with the Big Reds.
Well, credit Josh Johnson, too, to realize last season he had to be sort of that prolific scorer for that team a season ago that really didn't have a main focus on the offensive end. And now this year, he's been more of a facilitator. I mean, he's going to get his fair share of points. I mean, he scored 19 against Utica. I mean, he's going to fill up the score sheet, but he is just a terrific pass-first point guard, as he is unable to get that bunny to fall. Baseball pass up ahead. Dominic Carpenter wide open.
Stojanovic, nice job. Stojanovski, sorry, nice job of busting that double team and then hitting a home run there down the floor.
Good to see Cassidy Sanders back in this ball game. Took that scary fall, but appears to be okay. Logged some minutes here since the injury, and under a minute now left to go in regulation. 61-51. Dumped down low, and Caleb Fulks, what a second half he's had.
Yeah, he came in when Sanders got injured, and boy, he just exploded, didn't he? That's a bad shot.
And Bulldogs able to save it. Stojanovski misses short. Another offensive rebound. He gets it himself. Whoa! High arcing attempt. Another three-pointer coming up here for the Bulldogs, and kind of the story of the second half. And Chippewa Valley will just hold and allow the clock to expire. Corey Smith. Oh, yeah. Coach Corey Smith saying no more. Gloucester will now slam it home. Well,
yeah, Coach Smith didn't like that, so he let him know about it.
Well, and it's kind of funny. Coach Cushenberry shook his head, but Stojanovski went for the steal attempt. He wanted to play the game out, so you can't have it both ways, right? So 65-51 our final score. And kind of what we expected, a very complete Chippewa Valley Big Red squad pulling away late in this basketball game. A reminder, they only led by 1 point at halftime, but come away with the 14-point win here tonight at home. And now the coaches are going to come together and have a little discussion. And I think that's what Coach Corey Smith is mentioning to Stojanovski, right? Like, we called everybody off, right? We're just going to dribble out the basketball, and Stojanovski went for the steal attempt, and that's what led to the slam dunk there at the end of this basketball game.
Can't have it both ways. And
yeah, a bit of an animated discussion there between the two head men, and
see the two assistant coaches just making sure it's
Well, that'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Once again, your final score, the Chippewa Valley Big Red 65, the Romeo-Bulldogs 51. Jeff, we are going to have action all season long.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hope the rest of the season was as good as our tip-off coverage here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be, hats off to the Bulldogs. Played a good half. That third quarter got away from them. Now next week, we get to see the Dakota Cougars in action. After the holiday, get to see the Big Red girls. So come follow us all year long. There's going to be some good basketball to watch in this district. Going to have a good time. Thanks for your watching tonight. Appreciate you guys. And we'll be back on the air next week.
Dominic Vitale was our cameraman here tonight. Jim Calderon in the live truck, making sure all the right buttons got pushed. For my main man, Jeff Vitale, I'm Brad Fetter saying good night from the Valley. Once again, your final score, Chippewa Valley 65, Romeo 51. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on CVC TV.